1099 OID. Okay, you don't know nothing about all this, but you have to sign it, and you're going to sign it, and these are beneficiary signatures that they need so they can go ask the Department of Treasury to release this money for you. And then what's the first thing they want you to put on that paper, that application? Your Social Security number, because that is going to link everything up. That's really your Social Security number, the foreign grantor's EIN. Every your Social Security number, but the EIN, man. That's all it is. So they're going to go into your account, send it, and you're going to say, I hit the lottery. No, you hit your associated trust. So I'm trying to, well, I guess what I'm trying to tell you guys, if you understood anything I'm saying today, you'll stop chasing the industry. Let the industry chase you. If the industry come to you and say, we like that song, okay, now make the industry pay you. Make them come out, because the industry have their own set of money, their own little trust themselves. So watch this. Be careful about signing so many papers and somebody even trying to pay you. If let's say Warner Brothers say, Yash, we want to buy 100 songs. We want the rights to them and everything. Okay, this is what we'll pay you. Okay. Now, at that particular time, you accept payment. Okay. Now that payment is not coming out of your trust. You know why? Because it's nothing I gave them back. If I have to sign a release, and if I got to sign papers for them to release it, they're getting my signature to turn it into the Department of Treasury. And they probably got me signing a blind 1099A, a 109, well, not 1097, but 1099A, and maybe a 1099B, because they deal with a lot of brokers. 1099B is for brokerage, brokers. So they're probably, and you won't even know you signing it. You be signing the back of them, and you don't even know it. So whenever someone's paying you in a check, okay, and I'll explain this very quickly about working 40 hours. When someone pays you for a tangible good, like if someone bought the rights to my songs and say, we'll give you $1 million, which that wouldn't be me because I wouldn't tell them. But I'm just saying, let's just say I say, okay, I'll take it. Warner Brothers cut a check in Warner Brothers Industry, or Warner Brothers Inc., and some of Qaraah Films. Now, at that particular time, that $1 million is not going to come out of my trust. That's coming out of Warner Brothers Trust, because I have signed no release. Warner Brothers signed the release. So what I'm going to do is deposit this in my private bank, and that's not coming out. At that particular time, they have to draw it from somewhere, and they won't be drawing it from me. They'll be drawing it from their own trust. That's when you have made your money for real without being a fiduciary over you. And I hope this is not confusing, because it can be. Okay, that's a total release upon their corporation. So you did get that money from their corporation. Okay, but if Warner Brothers telling you to sign a release, and they sign, you got to sign some more papers, and most of the time they'll try to get you on that shit because they ain't paying you anything. Yeah, and I think some people starting to wake up like, wait a minute. Yes, if you're a person that signed with Warner Brothers and you sign it, let's say you sign your masters, they're going to buy your masters, right? But you sign a release and you sign some other forms. Warner Brothers didn't pay you. Warner Brothers still got their billions. The money they pay, just pay out your own trust. So you got to be careful. Like if Warner Brothers tell you to sign a certain forms, don't. Because all they're doing is getting you to go coming out of your associated trust. That's all they're doing. And a lot of y'all been duped. Like you hear about Jay-Z and some of the rappers signing their masters away. Warner Brothers didn't pay them. Warner Brothers had them sign all the paperwork and went into their trust, because most of them dumbass rappers don't know nothing about a trust. And they drew it from their trust because at that particular time, Warner Brothers had become their fiduciary. So Warner Brothers have the right as a trustee to go in their account and ask the Department of Treasury to give them $25 million. And that's what I'm not saying that's what they got. I'm just making a point. So once you understand how this shit works, you look at life different. Same thing with the jobs. And I'm gonna take a break. Hold tight. Hold on. Hold tight. Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about this real quick. 40 hours, right? The job scene. I know y'all saying, well, please talk about it. Well, it's briefly. It's nothing really it's not rocket scientists. But everybody has to work, and everybody needs work, and everybody has to pay bills, right? Well, the average person that works, they don't think about success. They don't think about wealth. The average person goes to work to pay bills. 90% of the people in this chat room do not think about wealth. They think about paying their bills, period. That's it. As long as you just thinking about paying bills, you'll never be wealthy. You'll never have a release. You'll never have an outlook in life, because the universe sees you as a trap. You're trapped in your own mind, right? The 40-hour period check that you get per week comes out of your trust. There is no money in the state. The corporations never pay you. The corporations need you in order to get paid. This is why it's important that you sign all these papers that you have no understanding on. So let's say you're working for, I don't know, let's say you work for Anheuser-Busch, okay? When you go to Anheuser-Busch, you sign all of these documentations. You need to be very aware of what you're signing, because you probably don't even know what you're signing. But let's just say you're a person that's happy to get Anheuser-Busch or Budweiser or whatever. They pay pretty damn good, and you're happy. And what's the first thing your husband say, your wife say, your family? You blessed. The Lord got his hands on you. You're not blessed. You just don't understand what's going on. So let's pop it, right? So you got a 40-hour week. Check looks pretty damn good. And you saying, well, I got my overtime. They don't pay overtime. Whenever you get ready to get, they know exactly how much you're making. So you sign all these releases. You sign a release for Anheuser-Busch to be your fiduciary. Every person that's working, I don't care what's the name of the company. I don't care how long you've been working for the company, Sears, JCPenney, Macy's, whomever. These are major corporations. When an employee is employed by these corporations, you are you are considered the beneficiary worker, but they're not going to tell you that. And the company that's employing you are your fiduciary, what makes them who? The trustee. So they have every right to go into your trust and to cut checks. Not only are they going into your account and cutting checks, they also go into the accounts and getting them a little bit. Because if they acting as your fiduciary and a trustee, they have a right to take 5 to 10% extra. How do you think JCPenney became billionaires? How you think Macy became billionaire? How you think these companies, Apple is not that damn good? Well, Apple's a trillionaire. Apple's a trillionaire because all of these people invest in Apple. Not just that, but people work for Apple, and Apple have investments in human beings, and it's called being a fiduciary. And that's how Apple became rich. That's how Bill Gates became rich, Warren Buffett, all of them, because you don't understand the lingo. When they hire you as an employee, they become your fiduciary. All corporation that you work for is a fiduciary over you. That makes them their trustee. So when they cut you a 40-hour week check, they ask for 10% more. They get the check, they cut the final check and keep the rest. How do you think these companies become billionaires, man? They ain't making that kind of money. Ain't nobody buying that shit, bruh. And these days and times, how these companies keep popping up? Ask yourself this. How in the hell Wells Fargo create 1,000 Wells Fargos? How they making their money? They're making their money off you because you're the private bank and then you're fiduciary and you don't even understand how it goes. How do McDonald's be McDonald's? How do Wendy's make Wendy's? How these companies make it? So you look at some of these companies that have been shutting down 5,000 units. How they making 5,000 units and 5,000 of retails? Because whenever they employ you, they become your fiduciary. You probably say, well, why they're bucking up? Because people start to quit. When you quit, they can't draw off you no more, right? Now, they can make a draw, but they usually don't. They need you in the system. So when you collect for that 40-hour week, they ask for 10% more. That's how they make their extra money. Now, the GM ain't going to get it. The supervisor ain't going to understand. The kitchen manager, the executive chef. This shit is higher up. Your CFOs, your CEOs, your presidents of companies, your vice presidents of company partners. These are the people that understand exactly what I'm saying. So they got to keep the people that's under them dumb. All right. So this thing is bigger than the industry. I like to bring it to the industry, but this is way bigger than the industry, man. This is you. This is you every day. Right. So when they ask y'all, and even this shit, when you ever at Walmart, Kroger's or King Supers or Publix, stop donating money at the cash register. And you know why y'all do it? Because y'all feel like people behind y'all going to talk about y'all. Y'all got to get over y'all feelings. If you're standing in line and waiting, you like to donate to the March of Dimes. Do the March of Dimes can March of Dimes pay my damn rent? Oh, sir, I'm just asking. No. It's nothing wrong with saying no. Stop feeling like you obligated to give Walmart, who makes $2 million every hour, you got to get them a damn donation. Are you out of your brain? The workers that work for Walmart is the trustees of Walmart. Get it? The workers are nothing but beneficiaries, and Walmart's their trustees. So every time Walmart pays an employee, they get 10% more the 40 hours a week. How you think Walmart becomes so rich? All corporations work this way. You're a private bank. So if you woke up and understood how powerful you are, corporations would